Hello, everyone. We are here. All my volumes are up. We're continuing to read from Oppression and Silent and Social Intervention, Ira Goldenberg. Get some water before I start. Let's see. Where do we leave off? The need for a sense of transcendence. Let's go. Lastly, there is what we might call the need for a sense of transcendence, the need for opportunities through which it becomes possible to relate one's life and times to the unrelenting, almost mystical pull of history. As finite beings caught somewhere in the mid passage of civilization, we are a part of an evolutionary process whose beginning and end will never be a part of our direct experience. We are neither present at our inception as a species, nor will we be in all likelihood be in attendance at our collective demise. This was written a while ago, so I'm not so sure about that with us. If you're listening to this now, you might be around during our demise. Nevertheless, as conscious and self-reflective beings, we seek meaning, a process through which we come into contact with the implications of our existential passage, a process whose elusive goal is the creation of a personal and collective perspective in a constantly changing matrix characterized by all temporariness and transience of a super or post-industrialized society. As human beings, we seek to go beyond our immediate experiences. We strive to approach the implicit meaning of things, and we seek to understand our travails. This, after all, is the ultimate and splendid fiction that allows us to exalt the human condition above all other forms of being. I don't really know about that. I don't put human beings above everything else, but people do. Being post-industrial is very important because that's what we are. We're almost there, in the sense that technology has gotten so sophisticated, we don't have to go into a factory to produce anymore. We can actually produce at home. You can produce, and I don't just mean just working online. I mean, you can produce products. I have a corporation where I produce products at home. I produce the labels at home. And I get the packaging from somewhere else in the containers and that, but I produce the product, I produce the labels, I produce a lot of it at home. And a lot of people can do that. A lot of people do that. That's what Etsy's for, people producing things at home. This used to have to go to a studio to do this. Used to have a big camera stand, and all this other stuff like that. And I'm producing this in my little studio apartment. Or at least the city studio apartment, whichever one you, well, I can't say the cities, but they're paying for most of it. So the need for a sense of transcendence is what binds us simultaneously to the future and the past. It is also the vehicle by which we go beyond ourselves and the groups from which we derive our initial heritage, or toward which we gravitate. It is what Alinsky meant when he wrote, "A major revolution to be won in the immediate future is the dissipation of man's illusion that his own welfare can be separate from that of all others." Oh man, this is so key. The individuality comes out of the group. There is no, I do what I gotta do, like you don't function in a context. So many people think that they're doing that. Sorry, you're not. Sorry, black folks, Negroes, niggas, you're not. You're functioning in a context. Hustlers, pimps, you're functioning in the context. And by the way, if you still doing crime and you're black, you're not outsmarting law enforcement. They know who you are. They know who you are. They're letting you do it because it serves a bigger purpose for them. It's always been that way. You could sell a ton of crack in the projects and have 10 Mercedes Benzes and nothing would happen to you. Try to move out and get a house and put your child in a better school and all that other stuff. Boom, you're arrested immediately. I knew at least 2 brothers growing up when I was in the crack era that tried that. So they know who you are. To transcend oneself and one's group is to reach out for the fabric that joins people together, to pursue the human chorus whose song will never be captured or contained. To be human is to exist in the past, in the present, and in the future. Time is not just linear. We're in all things at once, and again, in a context. All at the same time, and to derive from each temporal plane a measure of intensity needed to infuse one's journey with new energy and meaning. From the past, we draw our individual and collective roots. In the present, we seek to reshape our destinies. The future binds us to each other in ways that go beyond our imaginings. A part of us will always be private and unalterably non-replicable. A part of us will be public, shared, and open to review. And our existence as a whole will forever be a part of an unseen, unknown process of change. Here's the picture that they give. Sorry for all you people listening. You don't get this, but if you join my Patreon and you are on YouTube, sometimes you get to see the videos. So let you get that for a minute. In the final analysis, the essential meaning of the human condition rests on these possibilities: its clarity as well as its ambiguity, its heroism as well as its denigration will always be a part of that condition. Such is the destiny of an organism condemned to self-reflection. We cannot choose to be human. We can only choose to be humane. I just got back from walking outside, and basic civility, basic human structure and decency is so far gone that people can't even walk down the street properly. They don't even have enough courtesy to give you space walking down the street. A final note: university and the problems of oppression and social intervention. That's a whole nother thing. We're not going to go into that. But this is the book, Oppression and Social Intervention. I think I bought this from a library sale. Ira Goldenberg. I'm sure you could find it. You could probably find the PDF. And listen, we're all in this thing together. Period. That's why it's very important to take on I don't want to say wicked or evil people, but to take on people who love injustice. And there are people who are invested in injustice. You have to take them on. And you have to take them on structurally and conceptually. And you have to offer them a space to go. That's where the political and social work comes in. So you have to fight for things such as universal programs. You have to fight for things such as reparations for Harriet Tubman's babies. Not to be just because it was officially promised and wasn't given. And anytime the government officially promises something, it should give it. If it's not going to give it, then the government cannot give anything to anybody. Okay? It could say, I know we promised to have land rights, but we don't want to do land rights anymore. So your deed to your house is no good. And that's basically all really reparations is. When you file it down, people are putting so much in it. Oh, black people shouldn't get more, but black people have always gotten less, and nobody had a problem. So all we're asking is the more to make up for what we weren't getting. That's it. Maybe it should be internationally all black people. Sure. But United States, well, United States is an empire, so you might be able to say it's responsible for other degradations. But then you'd have to go into other countries and see when it's France, when it's England, when it's the US. Right? So maybe Haiti could get from France and the US, because the US has conquered, had occupied Haiti for a while and continues to destroy it or keep it destroyed, kidnapping their presidents. So maybe Haiti could say, listen, y'all owe us, France owes us. But Harriet Tubman's babies, we're owed because Abraham Lincoln said we have to give them a certain amount. We can't just release them from slavery with nothing. And it was not given to everyone. It was given to a small number. Lincoln was assassinated, and before that promise can be kept, even what was given was taken away through terrorism and assassinations and violence and killing. So those kinds of things need to happen. That's the social and the political work. Sure, you need a UBI, of course. You need a universal healthcare. Healthcare is insane. I've had healthcare for almost a year, and I can't find a primary doctor. Either they don't take the insurance, they don't take new patients. They're in the directory for the insurance that I get. Well, we don't take that anymore. I'll let you know. On and on and on. I had to walk on foot to find a dentist. And dentists are the only people that I trust, to be honest with you, in the medical industry. And they're the only people I kind of trust. All these other people, but since my back's been hurting, I've been trying to find a doctor, and I can't even find one. I'm still looking, still trying. So we need universal health care. We need universal programs because we are post-industrial, and we need to talk about what that means. There are a lot of jobs who you were just working for paychecks. So if you give them a UBI, even if it's 4 or 5 years or something like that, just a transition period, then we could do the work that we're talented in. Now, we did this in 2020, and then the major issue was too many of you have tied your esteem to your job. And if you have a job that doesn't produce anything and your esteem is tied to that, then it's tied to nothing. Just the same way, if all of your worth is tied to cash, to money, and money is fiat, then all your worth is tied to nothing. The dollar could be up, the dollar could be down. They could decide next year or the beginning of this year, the dollar is no more the thing. The United States is teaming up with England, China, and all these other countries, and we're going to create a global currency. And it's going to be called, it could still be called a dollar, but it might not be our dollar. Or they could say, we're going to call it the euro, or we're going to call it the global. There's no more dollar, there's a global. They might say that. And then what have you tied your esteem to? These pieces of paper and coins that are no longer worth anything. Maybe for museums, sure. So we have to be careful what we tie our esteem to. We should understand the concept of esteem. We should understand the concept of development and worth. What are you worth? What you can contribute to the whole. How much you've developed your talents, your skills, and how you use that to expand your group, and the ultimate group is humanity. Then we could get to something that they call greater mind or greater mind, where we're all kind of, we're not locked arms and always agree on everything, but we're at we've expanded to a level or to a space where we're focused on more important things, and we're dealing with the cosmos and those kind of questions. We've settled most of the social structural questions, which doesn't mean it's over, because the world is dynamic. So you'll always be tinkering with, you'll always be solving new problems, but the fundamental things of what a society needs and should be will be settled to the point where you won't need civil wars or wars at all. That's where great mind and greater mind is. And that's what I've always strived for. People think I'm crazy for striving for that, because remember, I'm from the community that gave you Martin, Martin and Madea. So talking about great mind and greater mind doesn't get you far, but that's where we need to be. And nature's going to take us there anyway, and it's taking us there now. So I hope the Condorcet Center and these podcasts help you with that, and I will keep doing them as long as I can, as long as I have breath and some stability. And that's, in this context, at least until May of this year. So until next time, take care of yourselves. There's blizzards and there's flu going around, so be safe, be safe, be safe.